Hey, Osiris here with the Clash of Clans video guide for Dark Elixir farming at Town Hall level 8. Town Hall 8, Dark Elixir is definitely your tightest resource. You can definitely farm a lot better than Town Hall 7, and you do get a drill, but you still should go out of your way a little bit to get Dark Elixir, and this is really the first level you should do that. And the way I like to go, quote, out of my way to get Dark Elixir is I always farm with this particular army type. I use 10 giants, 10 wall breakers, and a mix of archers and goblins. I'm not too particular about the exact numbers of archers and goblins as long as there's at least 50 of each type. And the reason I say that this is kind of going out of your way is because this army costs more elixir and takes a little bit longer to train than barbarians and archers, which are just as effective at getting gold and elixir, but not quite as good at dark elixir. So what I also like to do is I like to try to have my hero up and also 2 rage spells and a healing spell. So how this works is that under most circumstances I usually just farm for resources. I don't think about going for dark elixir or gold or regular elixir. I just skip until I find a good base. And if I find a good base that doesn't need it doesn't have a lot of dark elixir but has gold and elixir, I will try to attack it without using my hero or my spells, or only using just one spell. So like a base like this, I could take out most of these collectors with just goblins, and especially this one here has got a lot of resources in it. It'd be very easy to grab 50k gold or so, since these are all full. The reason everything's boosted, by the way, if you're watching this in the future, this is during the promotion where you can boost everything for 1 gem for a week. Normally all my collectors are not boosted like you may have seen in the start of the video. So what we're generally looking for here is I like to go for, I'd say about 600 to 700 dark elixir if I'm just going to use units, but if I'm going to start using spells in my hero unit, I really want to get over 1,000 dark elixir, preferably 1,300 plus, but it doesn't always work out that well. And the way I really like to do this is, again, I usually don't just skip until I find a dark elixir base. Usually I'll just skip until I find a good base in general, and I'll always have my spells and hero ready for a good dark elixir base. So let's skip a couple times. Okay, so here's a very high resource base. The thing to check out here is that this is a high level drill, and I'm pretty sure that's a pretty high level drill as well. This might even be a higher level drill, another high level drill. They're all full. So all the dark elixir is actually in the resources. So here I'm just going to drop a handful of archers and try to get a lot of that. So we do have clan castle units, so we'll have to lure those out. Not really a good place to lure clan castle units, so I might actually have to use a giant up here. Sorry, I'm still thinking about how I want to play this. Okay, so I think I want to drop a giant way out here, just to pull these units out, and now I'll drop my archers from a safe distance. Okay, now I'm actually going to drop my hero unit here, and to let him take a couple swipes. I'm going to use his ability, and that will distract a lot of the fire. So oh, another big bomb. So now I'm just going to be able to drop most of my archers here, and I'll drop the rest there, so I can get all that dark elixir. Okay, so there's only one left. It's up here. I'm going to drop my giants. And then I'm going to drop my bombs here. So I can drop most of my goblins up here. And I'm really going to plow in to make sure I get that dark elixir. Okay, so I've got some extra goblins. I'll go ahead and take some of these other resources too while I'm here. I mean, I could be more efficient about this, but the purpose is mostly dark elixir. And I didn't get to Town Hall, and that's fine with me. I actually didn't even have to spend any spells. And 1800 dark elixir. So that's how you do it. It's really just skipping and finding the right base. I also have another recording earlier of a Dark Elixir I farmed during my Town Hall 8 general farming video, and that's kind of a deeper storage point, so I just showed you how to do drills, and you also loot off of people with storage units. So I'm going to go ahead and splice that video in. So if the voice doesn't quite add up to the Dark Elixir farming video, just know that it's going to be a good video for seeing how to farm Dark Elixir deeper in the base. Hey, so we're back. Took a little break there. Got a new full-size army, a little bit heavier towards archers and goblins, just because I didn't happen to donate. But again, it's not really intentional. Just one barracks on goblins, one on archers. That's all you really need. Just a quick notes, a few things I didn't really mention. I didn't mention trophy range at the start of the video. I think as long as you're at least 1,250, you're good. And I'll go up to about 1,450. From there, I usually don't try to push any higher. I don't think it's worthwhile to be up any higher. So we're just going to go ahead and skip around. You know, now that we have the Barbarian King, this is a good time to get Dark Elixir. This is a good base. Farming it because I can see all the collectors are full and it's a Town Hall 8. And like a base like this, you can just oftentimes just drop your archers, maybe a couple goblins, and then just leave, especially if you're higher in the trophy count. And that right there was a quick, 150k, and it only costs me trophies. So in those kind of situations, a lot of times I'll just go again. My army this time will be a little giant heavy, but if you're able to pick off some collectors that way, that's pretty good. Still have a 150 supply army, and really all I need to try to get like somebody's Dark Elixir. This is not quite enough. Another good thing I like to do is when you have a high trophy opponent that's got a Town Hall exposed, go ahead and snipe it. They'll be happy for the shield, you'll be happy for those 10 trophies. We'll get 11 here, actually. And that kind of helps make up for that match I just left, where I, just took out the collectors and left. So actually back up and supply a little bit more. So let's look for a base with Dark Elixir. That'd be my ideal pick next. I could hit that. It's a little bit lower than I normally like. Maybe if there was some more resources or I had a full-size army. What I really like to do Dark Elixir for, that's what I like to have my spells for, and the Barbarian King for. I try to save both of those for Dark Elixir. That's kind of the whole point of having this army. It's very good at, I could easily get this collector if it was a little more full. I don't really want to take it at that level. Like 700 or 800 Dark Elixirs, I guess something good to shoot for. Again, just not quite enough. Okay, so here's a good base. And now this is kind of base that makes me wish I had a little bit more full on the units, because I'll be a little bit pressed to get in there, especially if that's full. I think I might be able to check that, actually, the goblin here. Yep, I think that clan castle's empty. So how we're actually going to approach this from the south. It's very close to this. Where's the drill? That drill's got a little bit in it, and that drill's got a little bit in it, but it's not a lot, so I'm not too worried about it. So we're just going to start with like 10 archers down there. Because I don't want to drop my archers and have some of them churned down for this town hall. Okay, so I'm going to drop a rage spell right in this area. This is kind of the area I want to poke up at. I'm going to drop one giant, and he's going to be responsible for proccing all those traps. Then I'll drop the rest of my units. Okay, now that I've cleared some way, and I'm going to drop that Barbarian King. Okay. I'm going to take out these structures here with some goblins. And the main reason for that is I don't want my goblins running up towards that area. Okay, so I got that. I'll drop my last rage spell. And that's going to help my Barbarian King get in and get that Dark Elixir he needs. And I dropped the healing spell there. I really didn't need it, but I did want to ensure that I got, the rest of that, Dark Elixir. Using 3 spells is worth it if you're going to grab, 1,300 Dark Elixir. So 1,300, and then I got a decent amount of resources, plus I get my trophies up. You can do that once every, hour and 45 minutes or so, however long. It's an hour and a half to 2 hours for 3 spells, and I didn't even need that healing spell. Do that every hour and a half, once your Barbarian King's back. And that's 1,300 Dark Elixir. You really don't need to do that too many times. And you can see I've maxed out my Barbarian King, and I've come pretty far with the Dark Elixir research. I already maxed out Minion, and I'm about to max out Barbarian King at Town Hall 8. Really, it's time for me to go up in level, but I've been holding off to do some more videos for you guys. So if you found that helpful, I'm going to go ahead and stop the video here, and I'm going to come back with a different build that's not oriented around Dark Elixir.